Okay, now I'm recording. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are going to be taking a look at World's 27 Showcase. For a lot of other people, for at the time of this recording, they are going through their qualifiers, they're going through their Phantom Sealed event, so I wish them the best of luck. For the rest of us, we do get to have a little taste of our own. So what this particular showcase does is it gives us a taste of what the top 16 are playing for the standard event, which makes up, I believe it's 5 or 7, 12, 3, I think 5 to 9 rounds. I'm not too sure. I know it's 3 rounds of sealed. They get 2 rounds of standard. I think there's another 5. So I think it's a total of 7 rounds of standard. Now you think, say 16 decks, you're gonna have to go through all of them. Well, not quite. I can say that the four Grixis decks, Eli, Gabriel, Nassif, Jean Merkel, and Matt Sperling, these 4 are virtually the same. I did not check the sideboards because I don't think we get the sideboard either. Between the 4 is it Epiphany decks, the main difference is the number of unexpected windfalls. This is pretty much the deciding difference. So Arn Hushenbet has a 3 and 3 mix. I believe Keisuke Sato has a 2 and 4. Oh no, Keisuke Sato has the very different one. I'll go back to him later. Andrzej Strasky has the 2-4. And Stanislav Sivka has a 2-4 also, if I'm not mistaken. Also, there's some differences in the number of Demon Bolts divided by 0. Actually, I should check. I think that this one's also 4-2. Yeah, this is a 4-2 also. Keisuke Sato, of the Is It Turns decks, this one actually runs Smoldering Egg, so it does have a little extra early game spice, though. Considering all the matchups we have here, it's like, I think it's only good against like less than half the matchup. The other half is pretty much long-term Alrun's Epiphany decks. Jean Emmanuel is running mostly Gruul deck. It's mostly Gruul aggro. The blue is literally for the 2 negates, and I believe other cards in the sideboard. Yeah, it's literally for the negates and the disdainful strokes. So this one actually a bit scary to play with, considering that 1/4 of the matchup is running Lier, so definitely not countering anything anytime soon. The 2 mono white aggro decks from Rei Sato and Yoshihiko Ikawa are the same. This one, the tech is pretty much Elite Spellbinder Redain to delay the Epiphany for as long as possible, and get a lot of good early game beats for the most part. Now the 3 mono green aggro decks, Paulo Vito Damo de Rosa and Sam Pardee are running the same one. The same version, basically for Eskachara 2 Ren 7s, Zandu Mammoth, Old Growth Troll, Sculptor of Winter, Werewolf Pack Leader. Seth Manfield, slightly different. Instead of Sculptor of Winter running 4 Lotus Cobras, not the full Ren and 7, but is running a singleton Unnatural Growth. And as far as and the other lone one is Azorius Tempo. So again, same as the mono white, for Elite Spellbinder Redain, but with some additional benefits like Malevolent Hermit, very good counter spell on a creature. You get Spectral Adversary as a way to punch through them birds. Also running its own Alrun's Epiphany, although it's a one-off. There are 2 Legion Angels. I believe the other 2 are in the sideboard for best. Though it's put down here in best of 3, doesn't matter. Okay, now this is actually curious. If this matters, these 2 Legion Angels are supposed to be up here, not down here. Considering there's no other Learn Lesson package, this is going to be a problem. Anyway, we'll worry about that next time. Yeah, this might be a goof in Arena if this is really the case. Or are these all best of 3s? No, these are best of 1 matches, so that might be a problem. You know what? Let's get Noriyuki Moris out of the way. We get to play as many games with these decks as we want, so we're gonna give it a try. So if we notice that So if we see Legion Angel, we'll try to play it as soon as possible. See if we can get that. See if that goof can be fixed up or whatnot. Up against Yuta Takahashi, so that is mono white. So that's it. This is mostly control. So non-creature spell. Let's worry about that later. I'm not too familiar with how much mana I'm going to need. If our opponent does nothing, I might just Spectral Adversary, but that feels really bad. Yeah, we'll pass. I'm gonna pass on this one counter. Yeah, the Spectral Adversary feeling bad. What I can do is I can just flash this end of turn, then just go Intrepid Adversary on my turn. Try to get the beats that way. Opponent winning their Shatter Skull. They are reflecting that they might have a burn spell. I'm also tempted to just Spectral Adversary and just hold up the Concerted Defense, though no real party per se. This one's just a Force Spike. And they have a Fading Hope in case of emergencies. I'm gonna go for it, actually. Wait. I'm gonna go for it. Let's see what our opponent has. I think our opponent does have a burn spell. Also, they're giving us a taste of these lands, so not bad. We're definitely not paying this one. Let's see. I think our opponent's gonna actually let that go. So we're gonna swing first, see if our opponent has a different kind of response. We'll go with the Elite Spellbinder into Concerted Defense. No. Also, this is a Cleric, so okay. Divide by 0, saw it coming. Dragon's Fire, negate. Shatter Skull Smashing, actually fine. Dragon's Fire is kind of fine. The other two are fine. We'll take out the negate. Let's make our opponent spend the mana now. Our opponent could easily just hit the other one and just snipe both of these, so that would be a real feel bad. So we just know that they don't have any lands, so... Or we can just Fading Hope our own Elite Spellbinder. Get ourselves a Royal Warhound. Opponent does not control more lands than me. I'm actually gonna bin this one. We'll see what our opponent's follow-up is. Most likely... Oh, they did hit the land, so we actually saved the Elite Spellbinder in a roundabout way. So note that in... Okay. Yeah, problem is that this counters, they can pay for it, so... We're just gonna swing with Spectral Adversary. I would not be surprised if our opponent goes for the... I could also just go Intrepid, then put a counter on it. Yeah, let's do that. We need to bait out something from our opponent. Because our opponent's probably gonna go for Goldspan Dragon next turn. So we're actually gonna let that go. Got rid of their hard counter. Now we're gonna steal. We can steal their Shatter Skull Smash. Oh, they can still play it as a land, so that's actually a mistake. Well, actually, not too much a mistake because it forces them to play it as a land, so we won't be losing these two anytime soon. Yeah, opponents going for it as a land. Going for the gold span, will take the hit. They still have 2 mana up. Nothing to do with it. Okay, I said that we're going to try and see what happens, so we're gonna try and see what happens. Oh, it gives you access to the full sideboard. Okay, so it's not a whiff. That's good. Now this is an Angel Warrior Elite Spellbinder, so if our opponent goes for the divide by 0, we can force them to give up the token. Or we can force them to use the negates. So this will definitely eat up all their mana. Or they just let it go. I doubt they let it go. I think they just crack. Yeah, they're gonna just crack it. For that, they're actually gonna hold up the negate. We take another. They're going for the environmental sciences, which they. Oh, they're gonna actually hold back. Okay. Now, if they have another negate, that's annoying. No, they did not. And opponent concedes, so we managed to out-tempo this particular build. This is the dragon build of this one. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is the one particular build with the smoldering egg and Goldspan Dragon. Remember the time when we used to say that everyone was going to be running 4 offs? It's going to be all Goldspan Dragon decks. I think there are still Goldspan Dragons, just not as many as they used to be. Oh, in fact, none of the Grixis decks have them. I think the... Oh, not even in the sideboard. We'll probably get these back if anything were to happen to Alrund's Epiphany. You know what? Let's give this guy's deck a try then. Let's give Yuta Takahashi's deck a try. Let's claim our prize first though. Nice. So at least don't be afraid. You will get access to all 4 Legion Angels. That one was just a very weird way of presenting. So we're up against mono green. This is the mono green with Sculptor of Winter. And this is probably the worst possible hand to have. Like, what are we gonna do? Divide by 0, bounce a token. The Dissipate's not gonna hit much. We have to keep anyway. And we probably have to use up our Shatter Skull Smashing up, so it's not good. The good news is our opponent doesn't have the Jaspera Sentinel Clock. Opponent goes Werewolf Pack Leader, which automatically eats Dragon's Fire. We don't need to show our dragon. And our opponent concedes way too fast. I'm pretty sure our opponent did not keep a hand with that as the only creature. It's possible that they might have kept a Landlight hand, but I don't think that was worth conceding right away. Our opponent probably knows something about their hand that we don't, so that is what it is. We'll probably get the trophy sleeve soon, so we didn't exactly get to test much of Yuta's deck. You know what? Now that let's switch over to the PVDDR Sampar Day deck. Actually, let's take a look at their sideboard. What's the difference? Because I know they're both the same. Snakeskin Veils, Frog Hemlets, Ren 7. Yeah, practically the same. The Tajuru Blightblade is a bit of a weird one. I think it's a nod to the mono white matchup. Yeah, because it's a nod to that one because Blizzard Brawl with Tajuru Blightblade is a very good combo there. We'll do PVDDR. Let's do last year's champ. Maybe we do quite well with this one. As far as that said, I know he's actually up in the running thanks to a good start that I think especially to a good start at limited. I'm not so sure how the deck is faring. It'll be weird if we if we have the 8 Alrun's Epiphany decks cannibalize each other, and in the end it's aggro that wins, but best of 3 should have that covered. Okay, so we're definitely leading Mammoth on 1, Ranger class on 2, Mammoth on 3. Hopefully hit a land afterwards. Oh yeah, this is the Grixis build. We did hit our land. We're definitely going Kazandu Mammoth on next turn. Preferably, if we pick up another land, that also... Not too sure about the Primal Adversary, but we will go for it. So, we'll swing first. Let's see if our opponent has anything. By swinging first, it convinces our opponent to take 2. Opponent, if they have a kill spell for this, will probably use it right away. I believe this one is to give access to... Yeah, they have access to the Cathartic Pyre, among other things. If we had gone for the Ranger class, they would have just burned the token. We'd get little to no benefit. Opponent running Celestus. So we have 2 options here. Probably just run the other Ranger class. Start getting some beats in. So we did keep this from turning, so it's up to our opponent to not cast anything. They're going for the Lier. It gives them access to... It is a 3/4, so that is an issue. And we'll play the Sculptor of Winter for giggles. I think our opponent has access to burn down the house. They are missing another red mana to make it happen. Okay, they hit their red mana. So they probably have burned down the house. No, they're going for the Cinderclasm into the Cathartic Pyre. Oh, wait. They don't have the mana. Oh, they do have the mana. Celestus is 1 mana any color. My bad. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It will. We need to get rid of the air as soon as possible. So unfortunately, we do no benefit adversary into a Blizzard Brawl. They do have multiple copies of Leer, so that is an issue. But we kind of have to get that out of the way ASAP. If they have to cast another Leer, that's like what, 4? That tanks them out a bit. So they go for the PWK. Yeah, we're seeing the strength of this deck. I'm probably gonna just play the Tangled Florahedron as a regular creature. Memory Deluge, so they're digging for stuff. No, actually that might have been a mistake because we do want to keep the Celestus from flipping at all points. They hit their other Lier. It gives them access to Cinderclasm or most likely PWK. Oh, Blood Chief's Thirst, okay. Do they have another one? Oh yeah, they can flash attack. Okay, they do. Ugh, this is really bad. Our opponent gets free. And the thing with Lier is that the mill the looting is not bad because it gives you extra access. Our opponent could actually respond by doing a memory deluge. It's not like we're casting anything anytime soon. But yeah, we now know that the problem with mono green is that it's dependent on keeping Lier off the board. So our opponent opts to discard the Fading Hope, which is really, really good. Gets down a Smoldering Egg. They can cast this on the cheapo, or they can go for the big Smoldering Egg next turn. They're going for the Memory Deluge now. Yeah, this is technically over for us. Opponent gets another Flippo. Also, the problem is whatever he drop, Fading Hope. Yeah, this is good game. So all of a sudden, I have very little faith in the mono green matchup. The Snakeskin Veil is nice. Basic, you really need to get a very good early aggro started up. If you don't, it's kind of over. We'll probably revisit this one again later, but we'll try we'll try the Grixis build. We'll go with Gabe. The biggest criticism about this is pretty much the mana base. Now our opponent hit their mana really well. Also, so this is a mirror match. The opponent hit their mana really well, so we have no access to black, lots of access to red. We do have a memory deluge if we need to. So most likely we give up the Spike Field Hazard. I'm actually curious what the Spike Field Hazard does these days. Then again, I don't know what else I would have in its place. So it's turn 1, turn 2. We don't have the PWK quite yet, but we do have Fading Hope for the time being if it gets to that. It's gonna be one of those weird matchups. It's really like who can keep Lier on and or off the table, so definitely running that one first. Also, I noticed that neither of them run that well because you're running Lier. You're not really running any counter spells outside of Divide by Zero, if ever. So this one's a very different kind of control. I actually want to get the tempo match. So we did hit our black mana, but we will go Hall Storm Giants first. If our opponent were to drop something turn 3, which I highly doubt in this matchup, we probably can just Fading Hope it. Buy ourselves a little time that way. It's also probably going to be a case of who can land their first memory deluge. The Cathartic Pyre is actually very good in again in this at least in this half of the field, because there are a lot of cards that you don't necessarily want. So the draw 2, discard 2 is actually very relevant here. Oh, that's weird. Okay, so if you actually hover over this, something happens to the people. It's kind of creepy, actually. I don't want to have I've seen enough Squid Game to know that it's usually not a good sign if people start disappearing. Also, not so sure why our opponent is stalling out. Okay, I think there's nothing to divide by 0-4, so they probably went for Cathartic Pyre. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I haven't... Oh, they went for Prismari command. So... We can wait for our opponent to cast something. Or we can just bounce the token right away, but our opponent could just float it in response, so we will not get the scry. Also, our opponent ended up discarding their own copy of Fading Hope. We'll most likely just end up playing the island, hold up Memory Deluge. We'll save the River Guide pathway for the burn down the house. At least this one does a good number on the air. If we have to. This Hall, it's pretty much a race on who can land the first good hits with Hall of the Storm Giants. Okay, so we're running multiple copies of Fading Hope. Drops their only air. We'll let that land. If they have a blue land, if they play a blue land, that's Fading Hope on the table, so we can't just play Power Word Kill. That's the wrong blue land. So we can actually go for Expressive Iteration first. Okay, we're putting the Deluge in hand. Put in library, keep exile. So this might be one of the long... So if our opponent lands another Lier, it's really about them just buying time with the Fading Hope. Opponent's giving up their Jawari Ruins. This one's perfect against the early game, but not against this matchup. So next turn, I'm definitely playing the River Glide pathway. Basically, what I want to do is I want to... There's a good chance we may have to do our own Memory Deluge, but that's going to have to wait a bit. Okay, opponent passes. So if our opponent goes Memory Deluge... Oh, they didn't go for Memory Deluge. We could go for our own... Our opponent does have Alrund's Epiphany up, but it's on a really empty board, so it does absolutely nothing. Likewise, what we could kind of do is... Opponent goes Galvanic Iteration into Memory Deluge, so that's actually very good. Oh, into Lier. That does absolute... That's very weird. Yeah, opponent realizes that that was not an... That was not what they were looking for. So we will bounce this. Technically, we didn't have to bounce it. We could just burn down the house immediately. Definitely playing this on red. And now the game truly begins. So we have a Celestus. I can do Lier, but I don't... You know what? Let's do a Duress. Fading Hope, Blood Chief's Terse. Steal. Technically, it should be their Blood Chief's Terse. It will mess up their mana quite a bit. Definitely not casting Leer here. So based on what our opponent does, we might be... So they drop a Leer. They could go for a Blood Chief's Thirst on one token, and they could go for a Fading Hope on another token. I could Fading Hope one token in response. But basically the plan is to keep bouncing Leer until we can bounce no more. Since that allows me to delay the burn down the house for as long as possible. We probably do a Memory Deluge on their turn. They can't exactly counter it anyway. If they start using up all their kills, all their flashback spells, I'm fine with it. Okay, we Memory Deluge now. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so bad for our opponent. Let's force our opponent to use up their mana now. And their Leer betrays them somewhat. I think our opponent could see the writing on the wall at this point. So, but we're gonna swing anyway. That one is very brutal. Opponent's still not giving that one up quite yet. They could have a Cinder Classum, which is something I'm gonna consider. But we do have a Hall of the Storm Giants, which we can activate if it comes to that. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's Expressive Iteration first. That doesn't really matter too much. So, Pathway, Library. I think I played the land already. No, I haven't yet. Now they could still have the Cinder Classum, which would wipe the board. Not quite yet. Opponent concedes there. I was gonna activate the Hall of the Storm Giants to at least make sure we can punch the. Well, technically we could cast the Fading Hope, bounce Leer again, and then still punch. So that was very brutal on our end. We'll take that. So yeah, I did make my choice for Gabe. So now that we've tried this, so the only three decks we haven't tried yet are the regular Izzet one. I need to choose which one to take. I'm probably not gonna try Set's deck, especially with all the Cinder Classes floating. I will do Jean Manuel. I also want to do the mono white deck from. So let's go with Race. Actually, we'll do Jean Emmanuel first because he's the only one. It looks like the Grixis one is if I have to choose one, the Grixis one's probably the more fun one. Okay, another PVDDR matchup. So this one's interesting. We don't have the green mana quite yet, but oh, I should have played the Den. There was no reason for me to play the Forest. If our opponent has the Sculptor of Winter, we'll actually give our opponent the choice. Because they might want to accelerate also, but they probably don't. Go for Eska's Chariot immediately. Next turn we could just yeah, we should have played the Den of the Bugbear first. We could have had the 4 mana for Moonveil Regent, then have the 5th mana for opponent not having. Yeah, we'll do the Jaspera Sentinel first. Give ourselves an emergency way to get 5th mana. Yeah, right. Mono green not looking so. Maybe this particular one, our opponent had a late Ranger class. No, they led the Sculptor of Winter. Now they're dropping their own Chariot. I'm actually tempted to do Regent first, since whenever you cast a spell, you may discard your hand if you do draw a card for each of that spell's colors. Yeah. Not quite willing to offer up the trade yet. No, our opponent could have the Blizzard Brawl for this, but it will give us another treasure at least. I'm actually quite surprised that Green-White did not make the top 16, or at least they chose not to run it. It's kind of the deck I'm piloting right now. I guess it does make sense. It's not quite aggro enough to outpace Izzet turns or Grixis turns. So there's a weak spot there. Okay, opponent doing that to cash in on the cash Eska's Chariot in. Yeah, you flip the you crew with the Mammoth. Oh, they also have the. Oh, okay, that's fine, I guess. Yeah. So we're gonna be using the Moonveil Regent to draw, to hopefully draw us into more cards. Now, even if we're not casting multiples, we should be fine. Also, because our opponent hasn't leveled this up, if they swing, it's gonna get blocked by a bunch of kitties, so. And I'm willing to do that because I know I have Moonveil Regent on board. In fact, I think our opponent is not willing to swing. They're doing it to make a token, which makes sense. Now it's possible they have more Blizzard Brawls, which would be a problem for us. Also, if we drew another Moonveil Regent. Okay, so. Yeah, we could kind of get a board wipe more or less here. And our opponent still has to deal with the Moonveil Regent, so we should be kind of fine. Now our opponent could have another Chariot, which would be a problem. We could also just cast this now. Draw a card for each of that spell's colors. Yeah, we'll do that. Then Bugbear not so great. No, actually it's fine. Because we do need to start hitting on the ground, and without this much gas, we probably are reliant on Den of the Bugbear. Opponent probably has to play a... They could actually just do Blizzard Brawl even without the land. That's still enough. That's still quite enough, I guess. I am not inclined. Ranger class gives them another wolf. Do they have the Brawl? I think they do have the Brawl. We're not blocking. Take the hit. No, they have something else. Is that just Parasite? Yeah, they do have the Brawl. Yeah, that wasn't gonna quite match. X is so we get to ping. We gotta ping a wolf. Oh. Wrong land. Opponent probably trades with Den. So we are getting close to range. It's very likely that our opponent does not attack at this point, which is not great for them. We can't exactly swing either because they have a face. Oh, they have a Ren, so yeah, they're forced to make the token. We need to hit a spell. Technically, we can swing, and we have enough to punch through. This doesn't hit. This doesn't hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not an 5. Oh, that's enough. That will hit. So 1, 2, 3. PVDDR is not having a good day. And also the extra damage from Moonveil Regent should be more than enough to kill our opponent. There we go. Yeah, now mono green is good if you get the jump on your opponent. So I guess this mono green feels like a turn 1 on the play deck. It feels like it falls way behind when it's on the draw. So not looking. Well, that said, that leaves us with pretty much 2 decks left. There's the Rei Sato deck. There's also not too sure which one of the Is It Turns decks I'm feeling. We'll go with mono white first because at least they're both the same. So we're up against Sam Parday. So this is another mono. This is another mono green, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, this looks like a very... Opponent goes first, so if we were to play Intrepid Adversary... I'm willing to keep it, but I might have to do this again because this feels like a really bad keep. We are forced to do an adversary turn 2. Now the good news is our opponent doesn't quite have the snow-covered lands yet, so a Blizzard Brawl will trade. If they swing, I will block. Oh, they could have a Snakeskin Veil, I forgot. They have a singleton copy. Oh no, Inscription of Abundance. My unfamiliarity with the deck is gonna kill me. So let's see what our opponent has. Okay, they're not quite ready for Old Growth Troll. The Werewolf Pack Leader is going to be a problem. Eska's Chariot's also going to be a problem, but this one admittedly feels very bad, especially if it turned... Yeah, I had the feeling they were going to hit their 4th land, so that was actually a good one. We will be taking a big hit, though. The good news is, we know they don't exactly have fight quite yet, so... we can Intrepid Adversary autoplay. Start going up this way. The next turn we can do it again. I don't know if they've hit their 5th land or not. That's the problem. If they hit their 5th land... no, we'll take the hit. It's a big gamble. If they did not hit their 5th land... oh no, they did hit their 5th land. Oh no, they just played Werewolf Pack Leader, so not quite there yet. Yeah, this one's late. I kind of want to swing with the Intrepid Adversary also. It gives us a life cushion. It takes out something underboard. It shrinks our creatures a bit, which is an issue. Yeah, I have to remember Inscription of Abundance is the other pump effect, which is also a good fight effect. Snakes can fail, so they're going for a solo swing. Oh no, they're going for it. This is super risky. If they had like double inscription, we were automatically dead. They had the land, I think. No, I can't. I can play Redain to make the Eska's Chariot even more expensive. We're gonna need the blocker anyway, but I think we might die. Yeah, let's do that. I'm so tempted to go for our opponent's face and just do it right there. Yeah, we probably lost this one. We okay. At least we get to trade off the token. Bad news is our opponent can easily make this trample also, so that's not okay. They're gonna hit the Eska's Chariot. Oh no, they're gonna go for Ranger class. Yeah, the drawing of extra cards is a really big deal. I think we're dead anyway. I don't know how the damage reduction is gonna work here. Oh, if they... Okay, we barely survived, but we're probably dead next turn. Like, what are we gonna do? Yeah, last hurrah. That's good team. So mono white, yeah, we kind of. I think that was a horrible keep on our end. It, it's all, but it also shows that it's very likely that the white aggro and the mono green aggro are also going to cannibalize each other. So all is fair, I guess. I'm not. I do like the idea of playing mono white, if only because I don't like the idea of playing Grixis, but that's not fair for Grixis, to be honest. I did say I want to do one last one. Let's choose some Sifka. Yeah, I guess we do the two. With how many mono aggro decks I've run into, I kind of want to do this one. I also want to try Keisuke Sato's version with the smoldering eggs. The eggs give us an early game plan, so I kind of want to try that one. We will have to try two of them anyway, so we'll start with Keisuke Sato because his is significantly different. And then after that we will do Sifka, and we'll probably call that an episode. Yeah, I'm looking at this. It looks like wow, everyone really loves. Now I'm cool with Paolo, though I'm not too certain about his deck choice in this case. But okay, so let's do a set. We do have the double burning hand, so we're definitely keeping this one. I want to lead on disruption. Oh wait, we hit the island. Okay, so I want to lead on Shatter Skull Smashing since we get to drop the island next. Sculptor of Winter, we can afford to take that hit. We'll see how our opponent does it. Generally, the Sculptor of Winter is there to do a very quick Axel into Eska's Chariot. You have to tap the mana first before you tap Sculptor of Winter. Well, technically you can activate it and just float the mana in response. Yeah. Slightly wonky, but that's how it goes. Kazandu Mammoth. If they happen to have the land, it's going to be really awkward. No, they did not even have the land. So, since we're kind of waiting, we'll do Expressive Iteration first. We'll put the Disdainful Stroke in. Demon Bolt's fine, but we have double burning hands ready, so we'll put the Disdainful Stroke in hand. Put the Demon Bolt back in the library. We'll play the. We do have an issue where we have a single blue source, so we may have to foretell Saw It coming. Opponent. Looks like they're really stuck if that's the case. Another Sculptor of Winter. Okay, we did hit our other land. So, knowing that, opponent lets it go. We're not gonna Burning Hands it quite yet. Yeah, we can let it go. We hit the Prismari. Why do we have a Prismari Camp? Okay, let's assume that it's because we have plenty of time. So Prismari Campus there would make sense. I think we do Expressive Iteration. So we want we kind of need cards now at this point. We want the Behold and hand. We want Negate in the library. We want to play the island. Is our opponent really going to cast nothing? Tangled Florahedron. We'll let them keep the +1. Now actually that's a mistake. They probably do have a Snakeskin Veil. Nope, they did not use it there. Environmental Sciences, we have way too many cards. Mascot exhibition is possible. We're almost approaching that. Yeah, I guess we take the mascot exhibition. Also hit the fading hope. Now by bouncing that, we do get him to play it as a land. Yeah, I kind of want the extra land since I'm planning to do Behold anyway. Opponent should start playing... Oh, they did have a Faceless Haven. Okay, we'll let that land. If he plays the Tangled Florahedron... I might just Behold the Multiverse at that point. We will have a mascot exhibition ready. I don't want the island anymore if we have a Hall of Storm Giants. We're gonna pass. If our opponent casts something, we just counter it. Ranger class. Yeah, I just see it coming. Next turn, we probably just play the Hall Storm Giants and Mascot Exhibition at that point. Yeah, they're stuck. Now we said we're gonna play Hall Storm Giants. I'm gonna play this one because our opponent can easily just play Faceless Haven. If I was concerned about that, I would have played the Field of Ruin. So we just gave our opponent a free hand to drop. Well, it's Xanadu Mammoth, so we weren't gonna counter it anyway. Probably a Blizzard Brawl. That's fine. So we got a Galvanic Iteration into a Memory Deluge. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Also note that we can just make Hall of the Storm Giants go up if our opponent decides to swing. I think I'm willing to take the hit though. Our opponent not playing a land probably means that they are planning to cast something. Okay, they're not casting anything. We'll go for the Galvanic. Into the Memory Deluge. That should draw us a few cards. Oh wait, that doesn't work because we didn't spend mana on that. We do get Alrund's Epiphany into Smoldering Egg though. So yeah, it doesn't work quite that well. We will snipe the Faceless Haven immediately. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we can play Smoldering Egg and then just Memory Deluge to flip it immediate. Actually, we'll do Alrund's Epiphany to flip it immediately. So liking the egg tech here. Oh, so he can Snakeskin Veil. That's very clever. Okay. So let's do a check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will be 1 mana short. But since we got the double egg already, more than keen to just foretell this now. Okay. Come over here. Opponent going for the swing. We will kind of auto block at this point. Our life total is not exactly high anymore. Now we won't be able to counter Inscription of Abundance though, so that might be an issue. Well, opponent is gonna go for a Blizzard Brawl. That's fine. If they have yet another Blizzard Brawl, that would be annoying. Oh, they did have the other Blizzard Brawl. Oh, wow. Good for them. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We need one more mana. We did not hit it. Hit an Into the Royal though. And a Cathartic Pyre, so we'll put the Pyre in hand. We'll put the Into the Royal in the... No, we'll put the Memory Deluge in the library. Exile Into the Royal. That's the one we're casting now. Let's see if they have another Snakeskin Veil, so we can pirate in response. Right? That's kind of... Because I know the deck list has only one Snakeskin Veil, so they've used it up already at this point. When it goes Inscription. So yeah, we swing. We're pretty much just need to defend against we just need to defend against a large spell. If it's just a hit from the Faceless Haven, we're fine. We know we can buy some time. Double Faceless, Restless Chariot. Yeah, we're covering that. And we hit the land, but let's see. 1, 2, 3. That leaves us with 5. That won't be able to help us. We might just swing. It is 6 mana to animate Hall of Storm Giants, so Faceless Haven's not gonna get through. Sculptor of Winter's fine. Opponent probably sees that, so we're just gonna Memory Deluge end of turn. So what are we looking for? Galvanic Iteration and Divide by 0 does not bounce their lands. It does mess up everything else. We'll take the Divide by 0. So we hit the Prismari command, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Now I could... And I'm actually gonna just do the Prismari command now. So it's deal 2 damage, create a treasure token. Deal 2 damage, create a treasure token. And deal 2 damage, create a treasure token. A little bit convoluted, but yeah, Galvanic Iteration at its cost very, very busted at that, right? Isn't it busted a bit? Is that right? There you go. Let's clean you up a little bit. Opponent going for the Faceless Haven. We know we're gonna take the hit, so we will just take it. We can't bounce it, but then again, we kind of know that already. Okay, I can't leave you yet, but yeah, this is definitely gonna be our last match. Oh wait, no, I wanted to try the other one. So 1, 2, 3. I think our opponent knows what's up now at this point. Yeah, they'll concede at this point. Yeah, it's not Paulo's day. Now there is one version that has the unexpected windfall. The plan is to it's basically just a quick tech. So we'll actually do that one. So I did say we'll go with some Sifka's build. Yeah, we'll go with that one. I guess we've also clearly established that if you want to do well, get your quick wins, please don't go with Paulo. Okay, we're going up under. Okay, this is actually a Race Sato. This is the mono white. No, this is the deck I played a while ago. Okay, we are gonna keep this because of the expressive iteration. Yeah. And we do have a turn 1 Fading Hope. Turn 1 Fading Hope, turn 2 Foretell. So we have at least some sort of plan. Right? Have a plan? Always have a plan. Also, what time is it now? I know 10:30, so I will be going live in less than half an hour as of this recording. Oh, this is the mono white, so we might actually have problems. And the double expressive iteration does not seem like it's gonna help. Now I want to see if our opponent does something like a Luminarch Aspirant, because if it's yeah, they're gonna do that. Let's see where they stack the counter. Stacks it on itself, which is smart. We'll reset it. Yeah, we kinda need land over time. We are gonna take a bit of a beating, so this is probably the worst hand to keep. There is a single burn down the house, but we're not gonna get much done until then. We did buy some time with the Fading Hope. I actually like the Grixis deck better for this particular one. So opponent going for the Aspirant. No double spell, so we kind of dodged that bullet. Also, something of note, you really need to be careful which one of these you drag. If you drag the Galvanic Iteration, it's also known as What Have I Done? So we're gonna go Expressive Iteration. We need to look for a particular. We're gonna put this in hand. We're going to put the Epiphany in the library. We're gonna use the Test of Talents. We do need to hit another land so that the burn down the house doesn't get quite wasted. We are gonna be taking some amount of big beats. Also note, if our opponent has Redained, we do need to set one turn aside to bounce it back with Divide by 0. Ooh, wow. We're probably gonna lose this one, and this is why the Grixis build is somewhat better. Because next turn, we're taking 6, we're down to 10. Next turn, we're dead. We can kind of buy time with the Divide by 0, but we still need to hit a land. Okay, we hit the land. So what we want to bounce is the Intrepid Adversary. Now, this is the best time for our opponent to play Redain because we have to bounce anything but it. If our opponent just replace Adversary, place a second Adversary, we're dead anyway. Well, technically not, because we can kind of reset. Yeah, they had the Redain. So we won't be able to burn down the house anytime soon. So we're forced to divide by 0. and get the environmental sciences just to keep ourselves alive. We're gonna go down to 4. No, we're gonna go down to 3, I'm sorry. So what we can do is we can just galvanic iteration, environmental sciences, but that gives us 4 life if we're still dead to this one. Yeah, this is kind of over. We need to hit a particular burn spell, but even then we're kind of dead to the other ones. Let's do it. Yeah, this is pretty much what I was talking about. Redain is very good against this. We can pretty much just concede at this point. So yeah, looks like the plain Izzet variant is not. I wouldn't say it's not quite doing it. But I think the problem is we didn't exactly have that much interaction there. Like we drew 2 or 3 expressive iterations, which is basically the worst card against that matchup. So let's see if we can give this guy a fair shake. No, the problem is, what's the removal? It's really just divide by 0, Demon Bolt, the 3 copies of Burn Down the House. But take note, the Memory Deluge is going to be more expensive, the Unexpected Windfalls are more expensive. So if you can't deal with it early, and it's going to be very hard to deal with it late. So if I had to choose a deck that's perfect for now, now usually it's in the sideboard, but since we're best of 1, I would say the best choice is actually going to be would actually be Keisuke Sato's deck. If only because we have some actual counter spells. We have a little more burn, although this will not hit Redain. But given enough time, with enough time you might be able to like flip a smoldering egg into an Ashmouth Dragon and get damage that way. Also not too reliant on the Burn Down the House. Alternately, these are all singletons, so you're it's pretty much about the Celestus gaining extra life. It's really about hitting that Lier, so at least Lier is not affected. Everything else kinda is, so that is an issue. But you do have cards like, well, Duress does not hit Redain. Blood Chief's Thirst will not hit it will hit Redain. You just need to remember to actually play black mana. And I think there should be, oh no, it's pretty much like Malevolent Hermits, so it's a weird case in the matchup there. Like I wouldn't exactly know which one to consider for this one. Now if I were to sideboard for mono white, nah, it's all mono green. There's no mono white tech here. So yeah, my top picks would pretty much be the Grixis deck, the mono white, maybe the traditional dragon deck, but it's pretty much one of these 2. Those would be my picks. The Gruul aggro deck is also kind of fine in that regard as well. And besides, who doesn't love Eska's Chariot? And Moonveil region drawing cards is kind of relevant as well. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. I need to play one more game later. But as always, thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care, God bless, stay safe wherever you are. Have a great weekend, everyone. Nice Catilda.